Whirlwind, man. Another ZVP here. This is game 2. TAiLS is up 1-0. Nice map choice for our Zerg player, who happens to be spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map as the green Zerg. It is Tefel. His tournament life is on the line here, guys. If he's eliminated, he'll have to try and attempt next week. And his opponent in the top right-hand corner of the map from Team MVP, a player I have personally met in real life, really funny guy and a fantastic player. It is TAiLS.
So, being game 2 of a best of 3, of course, a lot is on the line now for the Zerg player. And if he wins this, okay, let's just talk a little bit about that. We just came out of a series of Todd versus Johnny Rico. It was a 2-1 where Johnny Rico advanced to the qualifier match. And he's going to be playing the winner of this. Of course, Johnny Rico until recently was on Team Dignitas, was teammates with Tefel. And therefore, obviously that would be quite interesting seeing that go on. But, of course, TAiLS, that would mean that we don't have a ZVZ as the last game of the day, which I think, I speak for the majority of the stream, nobody likes it. What is with ZVZ? It's fun to watch, like, one a day. And then you're just like, okay, Mutalisks, they're fun.
I think you're being a little kind to ZVZ there by saying people like to watch it once a day. I think... oh, the football comments making it in the chat. We're getting to see the reaction. That makes me laugh. Americans.
People were just starting to like you as well, Zoya. People were just starting to like you, and then you go and insult football. Like that was. Don't you know how much us Europeans love it? But of course,
I love football. It's soccer that I make fun of.
You're just digging the. You're just digging
I'm
your
just
hole
like,
deeper.
yeah. I'm digging a grave pretty deep right now.
So, as we can see at the moment in terms of this game, we've got TAiLS getting down a gas, getting down a gateway. So he's going to be going for, at the very least, the gateway expand. It's a common build at the moment in Heart of the Swarm. Really, you get a lot safer. I mean, against something, say, like a Forge Fast expansion or Nexus First, your economy's not quite as good, but you get tech out sooner. It really is viable, and especially if you start putting on, say, 2 Zealot and a Mothership Core aggression off of that, it's really good. The thing which I'll be really looking for is if TAiLS gets a second gas down or not, because that's really a big tell to whether how much of a tech play TAiLS will be going for. Tefel, though, happily getting down a gas quite early on. Of course, we don't know what happened in Game 1 here, and ultimately, if we don't know what happened, then we need to make some predictions and make some assumptions. Judging by the fact that that gas came down, I'm guessing Tefel is expecting some earlier aggression. TAiLS, I believe the last time I cast him, did also go for a gateway expand against Zerg, so therefore I'm imagining he is likely to have done the same thing in the first game of this series.
Yeah, you know, the thing about gateway expands is it's just however you want to do it. You know, everyone has their own personal style. Personally, I like the 2 gas style that allows you to it delays your Nexus a little bit, yes, but it allows you to tech up much, much quicker. So I prefer that version, but both are viable. It's all based on player style. Warp Gate is really quick here for TAiLS. Tefel, he kind of blindly, did he drone scout? I don't think he did. No, he did not. So he kind of blindly went a 2-base gas build, you know, which... it works for him. You know, he'll be able to get leadings out early to shut down pylons in case any form of 4-gate pressure follows up with this. Yeah, we'll have to see. Just keep an eye on when he takes that 3rd base.
And that 3rd base is always going to be a big tell. Of course, there are builds where you can go 2-base against Protoss players. We've seen one today. Of course, the Swarm Host Nidus style. But I don't think that's very likely. There's not been any gas taken. And ultimately, if your opponent is going for this gateway expand, you do need to get speed down just to be a bit more careful. We do see that, of course, additional gateways, the robotics facility also coming down here for TAiLS. So he's teching up, getting a few more gates. Nothing too much of a commitment, though, for the time being. And that just is going to really dictate how this game goes. Until Tefel gets a great read on what his opponent's doing, he's not going to be able to react to it. And that's a bit of a problem, because Zerg is a very reactionary race, unless you're going for some kind of unusual 2-base all-in style.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, I love Heart of the Swarm because it just opened up so many different build options in every matchup. I can't wait till we get to the science of builds, where we see, you know, all those people on Team Loco that do all the math spreadsheets, you know, the timing difference between, you know, opening gateway expand and Forge Fast expand into a Century Immortal all-in, or, you know, those specific type of, you know, design build orders, you know, being mathematically proven to see the timings of them. You can tell I'm tired right now because I'm fumbling with my words. Those specific, you know, timings, I can't wait to see how those play out, because these openers, they change so drastically. I have a feeling that TAiLS is going to be personally going for a fast expand, but, I mean, he only has 1 gas right now, which is why I'm leaning towards that. If you're really worried if we did a push with this.
Now that Immortal, that was really quite surprising. I thought that Immortal would get taken out there because it was really far forward, and I think the one thing that's important to note as well is that if that Immortal did go down, then let's face it, it would have been a big loss here, but a lot of Zealots, the Mothership Core also coming forward. Tefel, he's trying to get his Speedlings into a good position, but he doesn't have his Roach Warren down yet, and that means he's defending against this only with Zerglings, and with so many Zealots here, it could be a really tough spot for him to be in.
If he's really pushing with this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He is on one gas. He's just now taking a second and third. And he's pushing with 2 Immortals, a Mothership Core, and a bunch of Zealots. What a wonky build, man. This is so weird. If this works, I'm going to be shocked. I can't believe this. This is so weird.
Well,
as
as we can see,
lost for words.
Well, as we can see at the moment, we do actually have it working. 11 Roaches are trying to come out, but those 2 Immortals are going to be able to do a huge amount of damage. So the Zerglings do manage to get the surround on the Immortals, and if Tefel manages to take it out, that would be really good for him. But unfortunately, both of the Immortals staying up for the time being. But in come the Roaches. 1 Immortal will now fall. The Zealots cleaning up all of the Zerglings, though the Mothership Core managing to stay alive with the Queen dying. The Roaches now have got a tough bit of work to do in order to make sure they kill off the Zealots. The Immortal needs to stay up. TAiLS microing it back. Zoya, this is pretty intense.
Yeah, this is actually great controls on both ends. Nice second time warp. Stalker's reinforcing this to help clean up the Roaches here. Almost enough for another time warp here. Nice focus fire of this hatchery. So TAiLS is at least going to be able to get this third base. I don't think he's going to be able to push up into the natural, but the damage has been done. He needs to fall back now, prepare for the counterattack. He's got a Robo Bay on the way. Would have liked to see him do a recall there. Actually, he doesn't have enough energy, so he's going to lose all of these units. I don't think that was worth it, to be honest. I don't know. That's a tough call to make.
Picking off the third's fine, but let's look at the facts. There's only 2 warp gates out at the moment. There's a robotics bay trying to come down, and Tefel is about to counterattack with a sledgehammer, and ultimately, TAiLS' wall is not looking that secure. There's no cannon. There is currently 2 sentries here going ready to force field for the very existence of the remainder of this game. If he can hold off without taking significant losses, yeah, it was okay, because let's face it, we're in an okay spot where actually we picked off the Zerg's third, but if this goes down, there's really nothing to defend this at all. We've got Immortal trying to come out. There's the first force field. Only a few more remaining. The Immortal's there, but now comes through a couple of Roaches and a few Zerglings. The sentries are going to die. That means no more force fields will be coming out. And ultimately, TAiLS, I think, is going to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the build. I was like kind of hoping it would work, but you know, that was just a weird build. Nexus Cannon's helping out a lot here. Probes are starting to fall. 9 have been killed so far. Immortal being focus fired down. Good control so far from TAiLS from holding this off. And he's actually not too far behind on probes right now. It's 48 probes to 50 drones with 2 bases versus 2 bases. The third base about to finish for Tefel. TAiLS is actually going to hold. He's ahead on supply. Wow.
Okay, that was an incredible hold.
Yeah, like the probe micro was very solid there. The Nexus Cannon helped out more than I thought it would. I am actually shocked. I was agreeing with you that I didn't think that TAiLS was going to be able to hold, but that one Immortal having 11 kills on it really. I wish you could see the kills a Nexus has. Does Nexus Cannon kills go to the Nexus or the Mothership Core? I don't think it goes to either. I think those.
That is one of those questions which is like, I've never had to work it out, to be honest.
I think they just kind of just disappear into space. The kills
so it
don't
goes
get
to the
low.
Nexus. The Nexus got 5 kills, but you can only see it if it's not making probes, which is a little bit awkward.
Okay.
But I just spotted it there quickly as I glanced over. And so now, what's the follow-up from Tefel? Tefel is going for Hydras, and this is actually a smart choice because currently speaking, there is only a single Colossus on the field. But if 2 or 3 get out before this push comes in, Tefel will not have a fun time moving in. He will have a very nasty time whereby all of his Hydralists will die, especially when Extended Thermal Lance is completed, which currently is not getting chrono boosted.
Not only is he going for Hydras, but he's got his Hive just about to finish. So what I'm expecting him to do is do like a maxed out Roach Hydra push with about 4 to 5 Vipers. And he's just going to abduct everything and go for a bust.
Ultimately, the Vipers could make this work, because if you get the abducts off on these Colossus, and we see the first Viper coming out now, but if those Colossi are abducted into the Hydras, they get focused down very, very quickly, and that is the key thing. Once they get taken out, the Hydras will decimate the rest of the force down there, and suddenly Tef will be in a good spot. He's ahead by about 30 supply, and that just means that if this engagement comes down when the Vipers are there, it could be pretty tough. But currently, look at this. Tefel just sitting behind the bushes, but the Colossi do see it, pulling back. A few force fields go down, a couple of units getting trapped there for the Zerg player, but those Vipers could not get out quickly enough at the moment. We do see them consuming some energy off the hatchery. This is going to be, such a tight hold, and if by some miracle TAiLS makes this work, he's going to be in a good spot. But of course, the big thing is that those abducts will make or break this engagement for Tefel.
I agree with you completely. I don't know. I don't see this push working for TAiLS. Let's look at the upgrade. It's 1-0 versus about to be 1-1. The supply is in favor of Tefel. All going to come down to those abducts. There is enough for 2 time warps here on this mothership core. Will they go down? Abduct goes down on one of the Colossus, immediately getting target fire down. A second abduct goes down on the second Colossus. Nice focus fire there from Tefel, but there's still a lot of gateway units left over. Vipers did not get killed off there, so he can go get more energy, but for now, this push is still coming from TAiLS. I mean, there was great abducts, great focus fire, but there's still 2 immortals and a lot of gateway units here.
There are. Even though the 2 Colossi died, the first one just did so much more damage. The gateway units did a lot of damage as well. And we can see here the TAiLS is pushing in. There goes down another abduct. We see the Colossus is trying to get focused, does get taken down just in time there. Good move, as we saw. Drones getting pulled, but TAiLS, he's got so many gateway units still here. If by some miracle Tefel holds this, he's going to have lost a lot of workers without doubt. More units are streaming in, and with no Colossi, Tefel will be able to force back TAiLS, at least momentarily, but look at this reinforcing wave of Zealots. They're going to be able to tank up so much damage, allowing Stalkers at the back to get out some more fire. Things are looking pretty tough.
I like the mixture of the Swarm Host being added in. I think that's really smart. Overlord's being caught off guard here, but there's so much free supply for Tefel. He's in no range of being supply blocked. I don't know, man. I don't think this is. I think TAiLS is done. I don't see this push working. There's just too much Zerg here. How many Vipers are left over? None.
Okay.
He actually
There's
got
no
them all
Vipers left over. The worker count as well is 57 to 50, so TAiLS isn't hugely behind there. But if we look at his main base, it's starting to get very low on minerals. That's going to be a problem for him because he doesn't have a third even thought about yet. He's committing all of it to this push. With no Colossi, he's got no splash damage, and those Hydras will therefore be able to do a lot of damage. And ultimately, this just means that the Hydras are going to start shredding through this. Force fields are going down. The Zealots have been cleaned out, though. Tefel with a nice attack arc, and he is doing so much damage here. Not many roaches at all, because he is just focusing purely on those Hydralisks, and we can see just how effective they are being here, Zoya. There is the GG, and that means we will be going to game number 3.